Okay, guys, welcome to today's class once more. So today, like I said, we'll be talking about the heuristic principles. Why we'll be talking about that? Because I noticed that from the previous design you did, there's some principles we did not put into consideration before going ahead to design, and we are in intermediate track. So when we are designing, we should be designing to solve major design problems and not just designing based on we want to design, we want our work to be fine. Now, when designing, it's not about the the appearance of the work, it's about the usability. Like in the first class, we talked about usability and the rest of them. So if your work or your design as a UI UX designer is not usable, that means you've not actually done anything. So it's beyond designing for for the public to see that your work is fine. Like if you know me very well from the first course, my designs are normally very simple. It's you can just see. Now the whole goal of designing is to make sure that your design is usable. People can use it. Now, recently I got to find out the difference between product design and UI UX. Now, product design is like you're thinking about the marketing part of everything. You're thinking about retainership. You're thinking about you designing and people are visiting the site often. It's not when someone should use your design today and by tomorrow the person is already tired of using your design. And we have competitors everywhere. So firstly, before any company will want to employ you or anything, they would ask you what problem can you solve and how will you solve that problem. Now the way you solve problem, I noticed I recently found out that most times you don't just solve problem by carrying out research. You would solve problem by looking at your competitors, looking at them, analyzing their work so far, and how you can be above them. Now there are certain principles we need to look at when we are designing, and that's what I we are going to be talking today, and it's the heuristic principle. Like the heuristic principle was founded by Nelson Norman, and he gave us 10 principles. Now, these 10 principles is going to guide your designs. It's not just now, okay, let me define what heuristic principle is. There are those principles that used to look for faults in a design. Now, it's beyond looking for fault in a design. It's also help you to to avoid certain mistakes that your competitors are making. Like in the previous class, someone said something while we were trying to review that website. Someone talked about one, and it's part of the principle because he saw someone's design and one of the icons the person used is not something that users can easily recognize. Something they will have to cram at every point. So let's dive into it. So the first principle I'll be talking about is visibility of system status. Now, what is visibility of system status? What does it mean? This principle is just talking about communicating the current state to your users. When I talk about communicating the current state to your users, it means this principle will help you know how to design that will make your users feel in control of the system, to take appropriate actions and reach their goals. Now, okay, so now I was asking someone recently, and the question is, if you make a transfer with your bank app and they don't give you any information, they did not tell you whether it was successful, whether it wasn't successful. The next thing you just see alert. Even the alert is not stating whether it's successful or not. I bet you tomorrow, that same minute, you will call your bank. You will call your bank for them to rectify. Now, what does this principle state in essence is that you should communicate to your users at every point what what they are. So I don't know. One very good example here is you know when you're typing, like you're trying to type something in a text box, and some will give you 130 over it. You can see 0 over 130. What does that tell you? That you have 130 words to type there. So after 130 words, you can no longer type. Now, it's supposed to communicate to you the current state of it at every point. So that means if I've typed up to 20 words, I'm supposed to get a message, or it's supposed to be counting there. This is 20 words, I've gotten to 20. So in my head, I know that I'm typing, the next thing I'm typing should be around 100, because the text limit is 120. So when you're designing, you should put it in mind that you should always keep opportunity for your users to communicate, be transparent to them, because more information translates to better decision making. So there's a very similar, this illustration is very similar to all of us. Those of you that are in a relationship, you know that in a relationship, there's something we call open relationship. Yeah, you need your the person you're in a relationship with, your partner is always supposed to inform you about everything, every damn thing that's happening. If I am moving to this city, I should be able to tell my partner. If I'm, so that's it. We should be plain. So that's what this principle is telling us, that we should be plain with our users. We should make sure we keep them informed at every point in time, so that they know what they are going through reasonable time. Like they know what they are doing, what they are not doing, and the rest of them. So now there are some tips you need to know when trying to build this kind of thing. You should communicate.
Speak Yoruba naturally.
Yoruba people, Hausa people, they abroad in Father Kola.
You should be able to communicate to them at at every point and tell them this is what is going on. Now note, there should be no action. They should not take any action without being informed about what it's about, they are about to do. So the next principle we're talking about is matching between the real life and the system, your designs and the real life. Now, when designing, the words you use, the language you use, the phrase, the concept, everything should be familiar to your users. Instead of saying BB grammar, instead of putting BB grammar there. I don't know if you can quickly go to Zenith Back app. When you open Zenith Back app, there's something you see. Now, there are some words there that you would not know the meaning, like using an acronyms. Imagine keeping PPA and its place of primary assignment, that you put it on your design as place of primary assignment. And you put it on your design as PPA instead of place of primary assignment. Me, that is a first time user. Let's say I'm not an NYC person, I'm not a NYC person, I'm not a copper, I don't know about it. I just come. You've already confused me. So now this also talks about the icons you use. Now, the main reason why when you design, you use a have you thought about it? When designing for an e-commerce site, you make use of is it something we call cart? That's like a trolley in the supermarket, or most people use bag. Now, when you think about it, what's the essence of using bag? What is a bag? A bag is a place where you store things, where you put in things. Same as shopping cart. When you go to the supermarket, you buy, you put it inside. It's from that bag you now move it to the counter where you need to pay. Yeah, you need to pay for your work. So you should think about all these things. Make sure the illustrations you're using, the icon you're using is familiar to them. The image you're using is familiar. Because if you're designing for an Uber app, let's say Uber app, you're designing for something like that. If you notice, most people will use car. Like that design I gave to you about creativity. I saw that most of you use images that is relatable. Someone can easily relate it to creativity. So that's the whole idea of this second principle. You need to match the real world instance with what you're designing, so that they know. When you talk about settings, contacts, you see that they use image, my profile, sorry, you see that they use an icon that is looking like image, yes, because it's talking about a person. So they have to use something that once you easily see it, you just know that this is a person. Now there are some sites you go and you're seeing settings and they are putting a human, and you're confused because you already know that this is not the what you're used to for settings, yes. So that is another one. So now you need to always ensure that your users can understand the meaning of a word. They don't need to use a dictionary. I should not come to your website and I'm using a dictionary to check your copy. Now this does not only applies to use of icons, the use of copies too, image, your words, the words you use. If it's buy car now, you should not tell me purchase. Okay, purchase is still something that a layman can. A layman, there's some people that don't know the meaning of purchase. We should be sincere, but everybody knows the meaning of buy. Same thing as money. You're not designing a website and you're using ego is enough. Not everybody knows that the meaning of ego is money. Ego is something that is mostly used by people from the East. So you should think of words, phrase that are familiar to your target users, your target audience. So are we together? Are we together? If you have any questions so far, you can put your hand up so I know if I'm making progress. Okay. So nobody's hand is up, so we can continue. Oh, someone's hand is up. All right. So unmute. If your hand is up, unmute. I've not seen the person that the hand is up. Okay, Dami. Okay, you can talk now. I've asked you to unmute.
Thank you. I want to ask, like you said in the number 2, you're talking about matching real life and system, like the use of icon. I discover, okay, there's an app I was using, paper. I discovered that some of the icons they use, they are not kind of relatable. Probably whether it's because it was designed abroad, I don't know. I don't know. I just want to ask you, like, will it be preferable for some of these icons when they put it, they should put titles there so that when somebody sees it once, we'll be able to identify it whenever he sees it somewhere else again.
Yes, we are coming to that. And one thing you need to know about these principles is most of them they are related. So if you're going to put an icon that it's not familiar, like you're going to put something like a contact profile, if you're going to use it as setting, you should please do well to put setting down. Now, another thing you need to know, cultural difference. That might be something they all know there, and it's not something we know here. So that's why there are so many factors involved when designing. First, you have to think of the location you're in. The location is going to influence your color. It's going to influence your color choice. It's also going to influence the picture, the type of pictures you use, and it's also going to influence the type of fonts you use. So if that is the kind of icons they already know, then it's fine for them. But if it's not, but then this principle is general. If you're designing for the whole world, let's say Flutterwave, for instance, Flutterwave cannot use those kind of thing, that kind of icon, because you know that they are designing something that the whole world. Now you also need to know the kind of solution you're trying to bring. If it's something that is for everybody, that also implies to when you're designing a site for children. A child might not know that that is contact. It can be a cartoon icon that you use for that child. So many other things influences it. Like I said, these principles are guide. There's some kind of situations that they don't actually mean in some kind of situations. So I don't know if I've answered your question so that we can move over to the third one. Okay, so let's move further to the next principle. The next principle we'll be talking about is user control and freedom. Now, when designing, we need to put it in mind that nobody is above mistake. So you need to design in a way where I should leave an unwanted action. Now, one of the main example that we can all see is with our bank. Now you mistakenly, I saw it on Facebook. They said that someone said I mistakenly typed 10,000 instead of 1,000 while trying to recharge. Now we can easily solve that kind of problem as designers. Now you can think of using a voice, a voice, a voice note, yes, like just like Siri in iPhone, something like you just typed in 10,000. Are you sure you want to discharge 10,000? I know that sometimes you might be absent-minded when you're trying to design. Now there's sometimes that okay, I wasn't talking about design, so you should get something like a voice note. Are you sure you're trying to recharge 10,000? Or even an alert screen can help. Are you sure this is what you want to design? But I've noticed that most times, once you type the amount for bank app, you go straight, and the next thing they're asking of is for your PIN. And you could put it like that. So sometimes you need to consider that we can all make mistakes. So as designers, you need to solve those kind of issues. You need to solve those kind of issues by trying to design in a way where your users they have control over the whole system. They can be able to undo actions. They should be able to undo, they should be able to redo, there should be clear exit interaction. Now, our mobile apps, when designing mobile apps, I've noticed that most times we use this back arrow. Yes, that's the using back arrows to show that you can go back to it. You just want to check how it is. It's not like you want to make some certain things and leave. So that kind of scenario, there should be a back button that should always lead you back to where you're coming from. There should be a door. You should not be stuck at one place. So those are things that influences users to stay on your website or your app. For users to stay on your site. So we'll be talking about the next principle, which is consistency and standard. Now, when you're designing, users should not wonder whether the actions means this thing. We should always design for industry standard. So yes, before I continue again, so I want someone to tell me of a website. Just give me a name of a website so that I can share my screen and you tell me any excuse, anything you feel that is not right with that website. Okay, I'm seeing one. I think I should open that one. Fidelity Bank, my stash.ng. I know of Dribble, so let's go to an unfamiliar site. My start.ng. So just give me some minutes. Let me open that. Okay, so can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So now, so far, we've talked about three principles, right? So let's use that three principles to judge these sites. So while I scroll on the site, you tell me anything that you feel is not necessary or is not needed. So you can do it on, okay, Fidelity app doesn't give you an option to save beneficiary. Now, that's what we're talking about. After learning this, you can actually redesign and send it to them. Send it to them, make it as a case study. And before you know, you get job. Okay, so let's scroll, spend as you like. This icon here, I don't know why I don't feel okay with it. Save. Okay, so this save. It's looking like the money is coming as like when someone opens the wallet. When you open the wallet, it should come to your mind that you're bringing out money. So this is not looking like something that we would want to save. So I don't know if any other person have a contrary opinion about this. Any contrary opinion about that icon, the use of that icon? Okay, I'm asking Dami to unmute. Yeah. Dami. Adelami, I'm asking you to unmute. So unmute and let me know. So what do you think about this icon? This particular one that is showing save.
The person, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My personal opinion about this is it doesn't communicate the message that the text is trying to pass. Understanding that everybody associates wallet with earning money, so it's not like you want to save your money. Something like, let's say you are keeping it for you to spend. When it enters your wallet, it's not like there's a way for. And here you are dealing with cash. Meanwhile, the whole idea of what I think the whole idea of the side, the application is to, like, directly from your bank account, you can just save. It's not like you have to first deposit and then save. It's like when you get the money to your bank account, there's no cash involved in this place. It's just direct savings from your account.
So what principle do you think they are faulting from the three we've spoken about so far? Okay, so I'm asking what principle do you think? Okay. That means you can talk. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Like you said, to me, it doesn't look professional enough. Probably because it looks as if they don't have enough content, or they don't have enough something that looks more enticing than just coming there to come and like is when you highlight the icon, it just pops up. I don't know. Could be a little bit probably we might not use something animative, something static and still make sense.
Abu is already scared. He said it looks like you're about to start spending. Yes, that's the whole idea I have about this. It's looking like I'm bringing out money for my wallet. And once the money is not even, it's not like the money is slanted. So I'll say, okay, maybe I'm trying to put the money back. But this one is just like I'm trying to drag out the money from the wallet. Okay, so let's look at this one. Save as you intend. Oh, okay. Sorry, let me unmute. Okay, you can talk, Adelani.
All right. I was trying to say that the consistency, you're talking about the heuristic principle that we follow, and for the save as you earn, the consistency is faulty. It's not like the industry standard. For saving, you can't basically associate wallet, an icon of wallet and money with saving. So according to the industry standard, the consistency isn't there. And for the save as you intend. Personally, I believe that even right from time, one thing that everybody associates saving with is a piggy bank. So it would have been nice if once a person sees piggy banks, or just since since they animated the icons, it would have been nice if they could just do a little interaction that properly depicts you saving money. That's what I have to say.
Okay, so yeah, you're very correct about this. So I was asking now, which principle is this faulty?
Consistency and standards, the third one.
Consistency and standard. Okay, so why is it not matching between the system and the real life?
When you talk about, okay, how is not matching between the system and the real life? When you talk about
Yes.
saving money, basically, you are not saving money. And if it's in your wallet, I'm not. Once the money is in my wallet, I cannot associate it with saving anymore. It's something I want to spend, so it's no more saving here. This one basically talks about spending the money. They could have used another icon to properly depict you saving money.
So from what you explained so far, I've actually pictured that just this part of the design is having two, is faulting two of the principles, consistency and standard, system with real life. Okay, so all right, thank you very much, Adelami. Oluwatimileyin, I'm asking you to unmute.
Okay, good evening, ma.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Good evening. I can hear you very well.
Okay.
Hello, I can
One
hear you. I
thing-
can hear you. Go on.
Okay, one thing I also noticed is that they have confusing copies. They have save as you spend and save as you earn. If the purpose of my stash is to make sure I reduce my spending habits, then I don't think there's need for save as you spend.
Okay, yeah, that's also good. So thank you very much for your observation. So okay, no other person. So I think I can lower you. Okay, Elizabeth Ajayi, you can talk. I've asked you to mute.
Okay, I want to reply what she said because this was where I worked the last time, but I've left them. So save as you spend and save as you rent, and they're two different things. For save as you spend, that is, there's some customers that will prefer saving as they spend. Like, okay, I want to buy foodstuff, but I don't want to use all the money in my account to buy foodstuff. As I'm using 90% to buy foodstuff, I want to save 10%. And so there are some that want, okay, as my salary is coming in, I want to like I want to drop some amount. So it's actually very different. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yes, I do. These people, they are very lucky to have their former staff here. That means you would have to take all these reviews we've gotten, redesign this interface for them and take it there and collect big money. Well, well, that's actually another business opportunity for you. You can redesign this site with all the reviews you've gotten from students and present it back to them. Let them know that their users are saying some things that they don't like. Mind you, we are talking as users and not you are UX designers.
Yeah.
Because we are just learning about these principles here. All right, so thank you very much. So let's continue. Okay, so can you all hear me? Like we're talking about consistency and standard. And now there's something Jacob said. He said most people spend their time using other digital products. So what they expect from other products, that's the same eye they are bringing to your own product. So you need to improve by maintaining both internal and external consistency. You have industry standards of things. So you also need to follow industry trends and standards while designing. Don't make your users to wonder if this picture means this thing. So that's all for consistency and standard. So the next principle we'll talk about is error prevention. Now, when designing, you should try to eliminate error conditions, or you should help to check for users at every point to make them know that they are about to do something. Okay, so let me show you my Slack to tell you what I mean by error prevention. Okay, yes, Slack. Let me share my screen for Slack. Okay, so let's say I want to leave this space. I want to sign out from this space. Let's see. Wow. So I just noticed something with Slack. So I just noticed something with Slack. I signed out of a page without them warning me. So that's bad. That's really bad for a user, because if it is, I don't even know the password to that space I just signed out of. I was hoping that they were going to send me a message like, "Are you sure you want to sign out?" They immediately took me to my browser and signed me out. Now they are not giving me opportunity to prevent error in the future. So let me share the screen that they showed me immediately I tried to sign out. So this is it. They just immediately took me to this place and they told me you signed out of it, but you are still signed in from your browser. So what if I did not want to sign out and that was just a mistake? Because mistake do occur. They did not give me opportunity to prevent error. So this is another part. When you're designing, make sure you give your users opportunity to prevent themselves from error. So imagine this is like me trying to send 20 million naira to someone. I would have just sent it like that without me. And my plan is just to send someone 10,000 or 20,000, and I ended up sending 20 million naira. I saw a joke on Instagram where someone said she went to the ATM too and she mistakenly typed in almost 20 million naira and she started shooting gun all over so that people would leave the place. So that's it, something like that. But I know ATM would tell you that you don't have enough money. So at least those are signs. Okay, so that's it for that. Let's go back to let's go over to the sixth principle we're talking about there, which is recognition rather than recall. I don't know who was in class when one of our colleagues had to talk about it, that we should minimize the things that we put in our user's head. Your user is a busy person. When you were carrying out your research, you saw that some of your users, they tell you that they work 9 to 5, and they want things that will help them, that they can use to perform tasks quickly. So instead of loading their head for them to remember some things like text input and the rest of them, make it minimal. You know, humans, we have short-term memories. So we can easily relate with, we can easily recognize some things because of our short-term memories. So instead of flooding your users with things that they cannot recognize, like I said before, you know, these principles, they are all related in several ways. So now you need to show your users things that they can recognize that will improve their business. So when they come to your site, they already know that this is it. This is what I'm doing. This is it. The thing needs to stuck in their head for them to know. You know, practice makes perfect. So once I'm coming to your site, I've visited your site like 4 times. Your design should stuck in my head so that I know that this is it. Once I come in, I can easily recognize it, and I will not try to recall, what is this button for? What is this button for? What is it button for? Something like that. And that's it. So we've talked about how many principles so far. This is the sixth one. So like the tradition, we unmute, you give me one website for us to look at to know, okay, someone said Fidelity Bank. So let's go over to Fidelity Bank. Let me try to open Fidelity Bank so that we can look at Fidelity Bank soon. Mind you, we are not trying to downgrade any website. All we are trying to do is to learn from their mistakes. So when you're called or when they employ you, you'll be able to tell them how to improve. Because with appropriate feedback, we need to always improve. Fidelity Bank. So it's loading. So once it opens, I'll share my screen. Okay, so this is Fidelity Bank. Oh, there's something I wanted to show you on that other site that skipped my mind. Now I remember you should always give your users the option to escape. Now look at this. You can notice that their screen is fixed to the top. Yeah, it's fixed to the top, but the other one it's not. So imagine I want to quickly go back and I am stuck. I need to scroll till I get back to the top. There's also supposed to be a button. Hand. This is the button I'm looking for. This was not on that site. This can easily take you back to the top. So you should design like that so that I can easily go to the top without getting to the end of your screen. So Fidelity Bank, where is it? First thing I've seen is CRA. I don't know the meaning of CRA. I'm the first time user. Maybe their bank, people using their bank, they know the meaning of CRA. They've already started using confusing words for me. So I have error prevention, recognize rather than recall. Okay, so Who wants to say something? Raise your hand so that I can unmute you. J. Smith, you can talk now.
Okay, good day. Can you hear me?
J. Smith, you can talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, good day.
Okay. To me, I think
Yes, I can hear you very
the
well.
to me, I think the
Yes, I
copy.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. I think the copy on this page is quite confusing and a bit distracting. Like it's not really consistent. You can see almost like one, two, three, four different kind of fonts there, and it might really not meet up the consistency and standard. So that's what I observe here on that particular page.
Okay, thank you very much. Adelami, you can talk.
All right.
This one that most male are saying something now. I want the females to favor hand is up. All right, sorry, you can go on.
All right. I said in response to what J. Smith said right now, why I would love you to note that the font that was used, the Corelli font that was used, please scroll back up. The Corelli
Okay.
font that was used there was is not something that is it's just an advertisement. It's something that it's a one-time thing of just for a particular period of time. After some time, it will be changed to another thing. So if it's also something to call attention, it's something that they need people to sign up. So it's something that draws their attention. One of the main things they want you to do when you first come on their application is for you to sign up. So they are using some cues to draw your attention. So normally, and if you scroll down, if you go through the site, you find out that their fonts and both the font typeface is consistent throughout because it's something that they've revised through and through. But for this hero section, because that's what I believe it to be, for this hero section, it's as it should be. The hero section is not like just the hero section is usually not the way the whole page is. Why? Because it contains one of the most important, it contains the primary action, it contains the key for the primary, you want the users to take. So signing up is what they want them to first do. They are using something to call their attention to it. So it's industry standard as far as I understand and as far as I can say.
Sure, it's for marketing purpose.
Yeah.
I get your point. All right, so favor, you can talk.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, with what I can see, I feel the top number is crowded, like too many things. Like I feel there should be maybe a drop down or something to put to classify those things under like yeah true and there. And I feel this virtual account, I don't know the fonts, I don't know. And they just combine everything together. Like I feel consistency.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Similarly,
Okay, good evening.
you can talk now. The floor is yours.
Okay, so I want to say something for this era section, like the hierarchy of the fonts, it's actually okay, but the only issue is it has is the different type of fonts they are trying to use at the same time. Also, I want to say something about the personal banking, digital banking. SME banking, corporate banking, and private banking. They could have just put banking, then there will be a drop down, and it will just bring out all of these things. It will make it easier for, but I also understand they might want to do it like that, so users wouldn't have to go through the stress of going to look for it on their own. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can't see your screen again.
Oh, sorry about that.
Also, there's a part on, if you scroll up a little bit, I saw something about our conversations. Can you go up a little bit?
Yeah?
No, like if you keep on going on, like on the website.
Okay.
No, not this place. Yes, like latest conversations.
Okay.
Like, are they trying to like talk about their blog or something? Because when you say like if they are trying to like project their blog, they could have used something more user relatable than our conversation, our latest conversation.
Okay, so I like the way how all of us were all thinking like designers. We've not actually gotten to the principle that is backing all what we are saying, but the fact that one thing for you to become a good designer is for you to be able to see issues, see errors. Now, the way I want you to see errors is you should also see it in your own design. If you can point that error, I'm very serious, you won't make the same mistake. Like there's one particular adage that says that we learn from people's mistake. I've forgotten how they say it, but you learn from someone's mistake. So you don't get to wait till you make that mistake yourself before you should be able to correct it. So I like the way the reason why I'm giving everybody opportunity to say anything is, even if it's one pin that you see there that's not nice, tell me why you feel it's not nice. Because one thing about dealing users, you're dealing with different types of users. And these different types of users, you can convince us this is marketing for marketing purpose. So if users are finding it easy and finding it difficult to think about it, you can just put it as an help something. We can tell them we always put marketing stuff on our sites once in a while. So you want to see things like this, just note for marketing. You've communicated to them, so they don't get to think about it. Now they don't get to think about it. Remember the first principles I talked about, that I said you need to communicate to your user at every point in time for them to know what they are doing, the next step they are about to take, and it needs to be time bound. So if you're doing something today and you need to communicate to them, that's why most times you see banks, they send you a message and tell you, today we'll be doing that today we'll be doing what's it called today we'll be doing review, we'll be working on internet, we'll be working on this, we'll be working on that. You cannot use transfer from now to now. You've kept me informed so that I don't waste my time opening your bank by that time. So if I don't know, I will keep trying it. And the more I keep trying it and it keeps giving me error message, I'll keep telling people that your bank is not efficient, it's not effective. So that's it. So let me unmute David TK. Hello, David. Okay, user, you can unmute. You can say something.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, what I noticed in the site is that it's really, really choked up. There's lack of breathing space when it comes to the text. Then some of the action buttons, I noticed that there's a little bit of interaction, but it is not consistent. There are places that, like in the hero section now, the part where they say get started, it's like on tapping it, it's meant to like, Kabi, on clicking on it, it's meant to like complete that green square, but it's not completing. But if you go down and you see it again, like in the get in touch, it is expanding. So it's like an interaction, but it is not consistent throughout the site. So that's what I noticed.
All right, thank you. So David DK, your hand is still up. Should we move? Okay, Dami wants to say something. Dami.
Okay, very quick. I want to support the last lady that spoke that said, well, the last one, I feel there were too much activity on that page. Like it's kind of shocking. It will make the user to be a little bit confused when you have a lot of things to pick. I think the activity should be reduced a little bit, like should be a little bit constrained. That's my take.
Okay, thank you. So if you've spoken before, you can put down your hand so that I know those that have not spoken before. Ayomide, you can talk.
Okay. Oh, well done.
Thank
What I feel about this site is, as a user, me getting on the site, I'll be discouraged to actually go through everything that's on it, because in looking at the site as a first timer or as a person that doesn't actually understand how a website works, I'll be discouraged because, okay, if I'm looking for where to save, I'll actually have to start looking around. So it's too choked up, one. And the home icon beside the open an account, because when you click on it, it brings you back to the Euro page. So what is actually the function of the home icon that is there? And they should just do better as Fidelity Bank.
Yeah,
So that's just
to
my
look
take.
at it.
Thank
No,
you.
they don't need to do better. You're a designer. You're a designer now. The thing is, you can design this whole page and post it on your Instagram. How do people get jobs? Most time jobs don't come to their house to meet them. I don't know if this was the class I was talking to, and I said something. I know of someone that designed an a whole how okay, this American airline. So she went on the page one day just to use it as a user, and she's a UI designer and saw the whole flow, how it is, and the next thing she had to redesign, did the what's it called, the interaction, everything, and she sent it she posted it on Instagram, tag them, posted it on Twitter, tag them, posted it on all networks she could, tag them. One of their staff saw how fine, saw oh sorry guys, we cannot actually trust Nigerian network. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm back. So I was talking about someone that got a job by just redesigning a site. So now the main reason we are doing all this, that you get to see sites, website, and you get to criticize them, and you get to point out for issue. It's not just for pointing out sake. It's for us to be alert. It's for it to create business opportunity for yourself too. So saying something like this, there is no, you can design it and post and tag it there that it's your learning process, learning UX, and this is what you observed in the process of, so you would want to redesign, do it. So fine. When they say one thing about humans is I would quickly switch. That's why you can see that some people will be in market for a longer period of time, and a new service will come in and will start making wave, just like Kuda Bank coming into to Nigeria. Now we have thousands of users that are using it. It's because we like comfort, we like good things. So anything that you show me that is good, that is what I'm going to take. So after saying that, I think we need to move over to point. We need to watch the principles. Then we'll not pick a particular website and we'll talk about all. So I'm not going to be stopping at interval. So if you have any question, just drop it on the chat box. And after I've finished talking about the whole principle, we can now continue. Because I see that so most of us were already going as far as talking about the principles that we've not even learned about. So thank you guys. Let's go. So now the next principle we are going to talk about is flexibility and efficiency of use. So now as a designer, you need to keep shortcuts for your users. Now, these shortcuts would help speeding their work. Just like now that using our bank, I'm always talking about bank because we are all interested about money. So using our bank, I've noticed that recently you can use your fingerprints to sign in your account. That's a shortcut. You don't need to start typing your password and the rest of them. Now they've made it very easy for you to speed up your job, to speed up your tasks. Now, when you're trying to speeding up your tasks, you must ensure that you do it for both the experienced and the inexperienced users. Now, for someone that doesn't know how fingerprint works, or for someone that the phone is not the phone is does not have fingerprints, you need to still keep the password part of it. You also need to keep, there's some persons that remember PIN better than normal letters, and there's some persons that remember that prefer to use their face. So you should give them so many options so that they can efficiently use your site. So you can also include keyboard shortcuts and the rest of them, just like our popular Control Z that have saved people from committing suicide. Just imagine designing something and you mistakenly do something that you don't want. You can quickly do Control Z, that is keyboard shortcut. So imagine going to file or edit, undo, redo, that's time wasting. What if it's time bound? So Control Z, so you need to keep shortcuts, and also you should allow users to customize their page themselves. Just like your phone, you can change your wallpaper, you can change your wallpaper, you can change your screen, you can change everything. So when you're designing, you should also allow the users to be flexible, like they should be able to do their things in different ways. So that's it for efficiency and flexibility of use. Now, the popular one, the one that I've seen all of you talk about on Fidelity website, is the principle we call the aesthetic and minimalist design. Now, you should design, when you're designing, there are some informations that are very irrelevant that are not needed on your design. So now you need to make your design focus on the essential. Your design should be consistent, focused. Let's say your alignment is in place, your color is in place, any other thing is not needed. I saw a site today that it's just full of text, just full of words, text, and the rest of them. You don't need to crowd your design with so many jargons, things that are not needed. Like I was using, that's why today I like Jumia. If I go on Jumia site, I just see what I want. They just list their stuff. No plenty English, no plenty text to. I don't want to read. So you should ensure that your visual elements support the user's primary goal. Now, what is a user primary goal for using Jumia? It is to buy. What is a user primary goal for using your website or your mobile app? Using your bank app is to transfer money, buy airtime, buy this. Those are my goals. So anything that is not related to my goals, I don't think you should put it there. Don't allow unnecessary elements to distract your users from the main information they need, and the rest of them. Okay, so Ajayi John, why is your hand up? Okay, so we'll go over to the ninth principle, which is to help your users to recognize and recover from errors. Now, error messages should be expressed in plain language. You should tell them the exact problem. If I type delete, are you sure you want to delete this? That's a very good way of passing the message, and it should be very bold in red text. Make sure that they know that they're about to do something that is bad. Then you can also provide a solution for them, like I said, when they made errors. So providing a solution to me, it's like, okay, wrong way, please go this way. That's it. This way you're following is not right. Please come to this part. What you want, are you sure you want to delete it? Delete, restore. So you should just always give your help your users to recover from errors. Now, one thing Google Drive does very well is once you delete something, they put it in your draft. Even Samsung, latest phones, iPhones, they do the same thing. Because sometimes I might delete this thing because it's disturbing I don't know the purpose of it at this point. But if you help me put it in my trash, the day I will need it, even if it's after 30 days, the day I will need it, I can just easily go back there. So it should help me recover from errors. So when you're designing, you should design in a way where your user can easily find stuff that they deleted in their trash. So when I go to my trash and I delete, you can still ask me, are you sure you want to permanently delete this thing? So if I say yes, then I know that it's on me. It's no longer on you. But give me these options. Then the last principle we'll talk about is help and documentation. Now, before I was saying something about Jumia not putting frequently asked questions. No, Jumia not putting plenty things about us and the rest of them on their page. Yes, they are not trying to crowd their page, but it's very important that you should have help. Your users you can help your users at any point in time by including frequently asked questions, how to do this, how to do this. Like there's sometimes that your user, they don't need to call you. You don't need to call your customer care to know what they need to do. That's why if you open, there's a bank that I love so much. Let me open it. Kuda Bank. You will see on the site ways how to do things. If you're a new user and you go there, you can just simply see on their frequently asked question. It will be how can I do this? How can I do this? Let me see if I can check it. Yes. Okay, yes, this is it. Let me share my screen now. So this is it now. This is the help and documentation I'm talking about. You can get help, frequently asked question. So if I'm a new user, I can quickly come to frequently asked question and I'll see, and it's already answering my question. I have access to free 25 transfers every month. Then if I want to transfer extra out of 25, we use 10, I will use 10. Does Kuda Bank make money? Like those questions that are in your mind, because I've asked somebody before that, how does Kuda Bank make their money? So imagine if I came to the help and documentation section, I would have gotten my answer since. We make money from airtime, we make money from, they've told us how they make money. Even if they make money outside, we don't know. Do you give loans? So if you, as a user, your intention is to get loan from Kuda Bank, you already know that they will give you loan, but you need to be eligible to get the loan. How do I open accounts? They're telling you how to open account. You must be 16 years and you must have email address and a phone number. It's still showing you what. So at every point, design in a way should help your users, put help and documentation. Now, if I don't want any of these things, let's go to get a. That's when they will now show me help, their help tab and the rest of them. So yeah, can you see my screen? Yeah, frequently asked question, your security, how you can change your security. They wrote articles on them. Bill payments. Once you go to bill payment, you can see buy gift cards, how you can buy gift cards. They have different people. They even kept videos for you. So you can help yourself without calling their customer care. Now, at the end, they ask you, did this answer your question? If you say no, they will quickly tell you, okay, you cannot call the customer care, this, that, yeah. You can see what is going on here. They are saying, oh, sorry, that didn't give you the answer you want. If you like to ask our team for help, then you can still continue. But then they've given you the help they know that you need. So when you're designing, you should also help your users. You should help your users very, like give them help without them getting to call you. Because if after watching all these things, there's no need to call any customer care because it will answer my question. Except I said no because I don't have any issue. I just wanted to show you about it. So that is it for the 10 principles. So what will happen is I'll go back and refresh your memory for all the principles. So I need someone to just help me write them down again and send it. I'll still send an article that you guys will read so that you can get better understanding of it. The 10 principles. Number one is visibility of system status. This is you should always inform your users about what is going on through feedback and the rest. The second principle is to match between system and the real world. Your language, the phrase you use, everything you use should be familiar with real life situations. And I use the cat as an example where we all know that once you're seeing cat, you all know that you need to buy something and place it in there. The next one is user control and freedom. Users would always perform actions by mistake. You should help them to get emergency exits, that they should quickly undo their actions or redo their actions. Consistency and standard. We have industry standard. We have different ways, different things operate. So we should also make sure we put that in our minds and make sure that our words, our icon, even consistency, you can also think of icon. You don't use field icon one place and you go down to use outline icon. You need to be consistent with what you're doing. You don't need to use a bold text. Use bold text as your H1. And when you go to be consistent in all those places, then error prevention. You should make sure that you help your users to eliminate errors. That means you should ensure that You send them error messages for them to know what they are trying to do. Now we have two types of errors, which is the sleep, unconscious error. That one is you're not following, inattention. Then we have the conscious one. So you should be able to, your design should help them to and prevent this kind of errors. Then we have the recognition rather than recall. You should not load the memory of your users with plenty action. Visiting your site 3 times, I should be able to know where this is and where this is not. That's number 6. Number 7 is flexibility and efficiency of use. You should ensure that even what's it called, novice can use your site. Efficiency should be fast for them. You should be able to perform tasks quickly. I should be able to speed up by this. And I used the example of using fingerprints to log in your app or your account these days. That's making you speed up your designs, so speed up your tasks. We have the aesthetic and minimalistic design, where you don't need to crowd your site with irrelevant information. You only need to keep the relevant one. Every other external jargons is not needed. Make sure your content, your visual design is all on point. They are all on point. Sorry. Don't allow unnecessary things distract your user. The 9th one, I said you should help users to recognize and recover from errors. So you can use your being as an example, where you can help them to put what they delete to their being, so that they can easily go to recover it when they want.
Hi everybody. It seems Roma is having a few issues, so she'll be joining in soon. She'll be back. All right, Roma, you back? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm back. So,
Okay, cool.
all right. So, your questions, so that we can answer and end the class. We have 20 more minutes. Okay. So, Ajayi John, you can unmute. Ajayi John, please unmute.
Yeah, good afternoon. Sorry for my background a little. Hello, I don't know. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So you can
Okay,
talk
my
now.
question is earlier you are talking about you are comparing Jumia with some other website landing
Yeah,
page precisely. You
yeah.
were talking like, okay, for example, for Fidelity Bank, you stated that it is actually very busy, like Kumba, while for Jumia, they are actually straight to whatever they want to do. So I don't know, depends on the nature of business. We know Jumia to be an e-commerce. It's definitely their site should be portraying something that is going to like confirm whatever they are doing, which I think that's the reason why their page is like that. Then for Fidelity Bank being a banking site, it definitely has to like communicate to the customer what and what they can get in terms of banking. So I don't know, maybe that's from my own end. Oh. So I felt that's the reason why maybe Fidelity landing page is more cumbersome than that of Jumia.
Okay, so let me ask you a simple question. There's something I said that your user's primary goal should be your main priority. If I'm logging into Fidelity Bank, what do you think is taking me to the bank?
Possibly you want to make some confirmations on your account.
Yes, I want to do transaction. So you are putting your previous discussion. Yes, I know you can put what's it called this thing, but I don't think I've seen open an account on Fidelity Bank. Let me check back.
No, I think I saw
Okay,
that.
okay, I've seen open an account, personal banking, this, that. Now, these things are actually for, this is not my priority. Okay, let me go back. Let me go to personal banking and see what it will tell me.
Okay.
Now, if we're in the first class, I said something that Jumia app might not be they might not have the best design interface, but their experience is very good. Now that's why you are both a UI and a UX designer, so that you can give
Okay.
me good experience and you can also give me good website. Jumia experience is good. Believe it or not, it's very good. I go to Jumia, I sign in, I do this. They also give me an option to keep things in my wish list, something I want to buy later on. So that my primary goal on going there is to do this thing and leave. So I've opened Fidelity Bank and there's something I need to show you. So this is it. I go straight to personal banking and it's showing me banking made easy for you, savings account, current account, diaspora account, personal loan, payment services, money transfer. Okay. Now, are you seeing the number of
Yeah,
times I
sure.
need to this money transfer? Okay. Now, I can't click on this box. This is not clickable until I get to point my mouse here before I know that okay, it's clickable something. So this is making me not to be efficient, like it's not flexible. So
I
just
get
think
the
of the
point.
time. Yes, you now get the point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Money transfer. I want to do a simple money transfer. Let me just put it worst case scenario. I'm not with my phone and I really need to do a transfer on these sites. That's why I'm here. They're showing me what they remit, MoneyGram, this. These are things that their marketers are supposed to market to people. Okay, let me go to MoneyGram.
I get you.
Yeah, okay, so I think we are clear on that.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Thank
All
you.
right, all right, you're welcome. So any more question? Let's quickly look at these questions and J Smith, you can unmute. Jasmine, please just type your question or what you want to say first.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I really want a clarification between the third rule and the fifth one, because they are basically talking about like reconfirming, allowing the user to get to redo and undo like if they make a mistake. So I really want to understand the user control and freedom and error prevention. What's the major difference? Because the both of them is trying to help the user in case he made a mistake, I mean, undo it, redo it, something like that. So I want to know, please.
Okay, now for user control, you know that most times they make these mistakes from unknowingly. So you need to help them go back to their previous state. So let's say I come into a website and I don't want to sign up, or I just want to, as a UI/UX designer, we do it most times where we go to website because we want to design something. We just enter any app or any website just to navigate through, see it, and I don't want to log in. And now you're giving me login as it, and I want to, you should give me freedom to go back. Allow me to exist your flow. Allow me to go back to my previous actions and the rest of them. So that's for user control. You should allow your users to quickly correct their mistakes and go back. A backline will help it. So these are things you could use to give your users control over a system using a back arrow. That backline you see, that means to go back. You can use a cancel link, like a cancel text that is in red, that you can make it underline to show that that's a link. You can also use a close link. That's the star, is it X that we use, yes? And you can also use an undo option, which is go to edit and you undo it. Now, the fifth one, which is preventing users error. Now it has to do with, let's say your user wants to delete something. Now they want to delete something. You should quickly give them things like, are you sure you want to delete this? If you're in the starting of this, like I said, most of the principles, they are almost related. So what you don't do in the, if you still don't get it in the first one, you can get it here. So now, are you sure you want to delete? Those are the kind of things you should help them to do. Now, another way is to pick dates. For instance, I'm trying to book a flight and I'm selecting the dates that I want to do. Now, there are few dates that are acceptable. Yes, that's it. There are few dates that are acceptable, like Monday, let's say time frame that are acceptable, a morning and evening. So you should just restrict them, keep them at that date. They just keep that date highlighted so that they know that this is what they are trying to do. Okay, let me show you my screen for this particular one. Let me screen grab it. My screen will be up in a few minutes so that I quickly show you what I mean by I'm trying to book something. Okay, so let me try to open it from my desktop. Okay, so now can you see this? Now you can see that this date they only have 8 to 9. you're helping your users to you're helping your users now to prevent error. Now, what is an error in this state? If I choose 12, that's an error because there's no flight for 12. If I choose 15, okay, 15 is alighted, that means there might be a flight for it. So you should be able to, if you've seen my screen, I think I can stop sharing. So you should be able to help them to prevent those kind of errors. And also you can also use, what can you also use for this is suggestion, auto suggestion. For instance, I want to type Kano State. You can use auto completion to help prevent errors for your users. Like most times we don't know the spelling of things we want to do, but if you help me to prevent these errors by putting the exact dates on the flight and also helping me to offer suggestions and the rest of them. So I don't know if you now get it. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so I was talking to the last user. Is he understood now? Okay, he said yes. So one more question and we are done. I'm also going to give the task for today. No other question. So your task for today is very simple. You've learned 10 different principles. So go on any site of your choice, look at the principles they are not following and the principles they are following. So it's not like you're just going to look at the principles they are not following. Also check for the principles they are following. And now for you to be able to do this, you need to navigate via all. So it's just like you're taking a tour on a site of your choice. So once you're done, you should submit it via a Google link. Now you should also take screenshots of what you can notice from the site. So if you're saying they are not putting error prevention into consideration, screenshot that part. So you're sending in the picture and your points backing the reason why you feel they are not following it. Then for the one they are following, you should also screenshot and tell me why they are following it. So that is it. So is there any question about the task? Okay, Dami, you can unmute.
Where are we submitting it?
Do it first.
Yeah,
It's
and
where when. This is before Wednesday. On Wednesday in class. So I'll send the link where you're going to submit it. So all you just need to do is take time, visit the sites, and give good criticism. Like look at the site thoroughly. Don't just go and tell me they are not following this one without any claim backing it up. So are we clear on that? We have 5 more minutes to wrap up this section. Okay, John, I said, yes, it could be a mobile app. Yeah, let me know. It's not limited to just website. It could be a mobile app and you use all the 10 principles. Now I'm going to drop a material. I'm going to drop a material on the Slack. Yes, I can hear you.
No, please, I did not hear what you said. Like, the assignment.
Okay, I'm going to drop the link now on this call for the material you need to study. So, like I said, go on any website of your choice or mobile app. You've learned the 10 heuristic principles. So what you're going to do is to look at any site, Write down the principle you think they are not following and the principle you think they are following, and back it up with explanation. So are we clear on that? I guess we are. Okay, so someone should please get this link and share it to the group. So just one, you don't need to do more than one, because I'm very sure that there are some websites that you can even exhaust they don't follow any of the principles. So it's just one website. So you're doing this on a Google Doc file. So you're not using Canva or I say Canva. You're not using Figma or any of those sites. You're using a Google Docs. So it's just writing. I want to know how you can criticize a website, how you can see mistake on the website. Okay, so thank you very much. So Tony, I've seen that you posted it on the group chat. Okay, so I'm going to call one person that have not said anything in this class to say something, to give us. J. Smith is already angry. Who is asking if it's more than one? It's just one. Someone should give us closing remark. Obedience have said something on this group, on this call. Oh, today that P did not say anything. Okay, that P, I'm asking you to unmute now. Where is the name? Okay. So give us your closing remarks so that in 2 minutes.
What the? Okay. So the so the tax please.
Okay.
Can we have the other sheet?
The what?
Like someone the list of I have it, but I'm not looking for like a more. You sent a link, but I'm just opening the link now to check it. Okay, okay. I'll send it. Okay.
You've seen the link. So give us closing remark.
Closing remark. Can someone help me with it? I don't really know what to say.
Okay, so I'm typing out the tax now to send on the group, send here. So someone should help me and post it on the. But you've not given us closing remark. We want closing remark.
Tight, yes, sorry. I know what to say. But so I don't know your.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for class and for the lecture. Thank you for today.
See someone that will soon do interview, that will soon interview your people, that will soon do research. You don't know what to tell your users. Okay, so Jerry says she just pray. No, we have Muslims and Christians here, so we don't need to start doing prayer or anything. Okay, so I've posted the tax. Since you're not willing to say anything, I think I'll call a girl. A girl will do that. No, we are done for today. All right, thank you very much for joining today's class. This is where we'll close it. So please, someone, so Tony has already posted it. go to the group, see the tax, and if you have any question, type it on the group chat and we would respond. Thank you guys for today. We would close our curtain here.